Alright, what's up, you beautiful bastards? Fucking missed y'all. Damn. Happy to be recording another video. I got my notes here, so you know I'm actually going to be saying some real shit this time. I put some thought into this one. Let's put that there. First, you know, I gotta show off some I gotta show off some nerd memorabilia, so I want to show off my favorite, like Islam and Volk. For me, this is tied for number one. See what I did there? Tied for number one as my favorite comic book series of all time, tied with Invincible. Alan Moore, Dave Gibbons, Watchmen, the ending, amazing. They're literally saying, we leave it entirely in your hands. The last scene with Doc and Ozymandias, where he goes, Doc, before you go, I gotta know, it all works out, right? Or I did the right thing, didn't I? It all works out in the end. And, you know, Doc goes, in the end, nothing ends, Adrian. Nothing ever ends. Fuck, man, I just love it so much. Love that shit. All right, let's get into why we're here. Fucking pull my fucking strings out of my pants here. Fuck. All right. Islam and Volk. Fucking A. What a fight, man. Okay. Going to decision. Watching the fight, it was back and forth. I mean, you're crazy if you think otherwise, if you say otherwise. I didn't know who was winning because it's so fucking close. Round 5 comes around, and it ends, and they're going to the judge's scorecard, and I'm going, holy shit. Volk just won that. I can't believe. I was like, fuck, man, Volk won it. Islam wins. I go, and I hear 49-46. I'm thinking, oh, what the fuck? Holy fuck, who was paying these judges money? So, you know, what happened? Even though Islam won, it wasn't a robbery to me. I didn't think it was crazy. I wasn't, you know, crying. And, well, again, I always go into these fights and no matter who I'm a fan of or who I'm rooting for, I'm not a fucking weirdo. I'm not an idiot. I go into them in the middle. I just analyze what I see. I take in that information and I process the information, and then I form an opinion. I'm not sitting here going, Volk should have won because I want him to. The fuck? It doesn't mean anything. You know, it's fucking stupid, man. All you see on Instagram is Volk won it, you know, but then it's like they can't sit there and just have a normal conversation. It has to be Volk won because I hate Islam and he sucks. And then it's Islam fans going, Alhamdulillah, cope. It's like, yeah, I can't take you serious because you only like him because of your religion. I can't take you serious because you're Australian. So fucking, these people are so dumb. So that's why I'm better than all of you. But moving on. Yeah, I wasn't mad about it. I know it was close. I didn't think it was terrible. Whatever. Now, the only problem I have is, and this has been a big thing, and I talk about it damn near every fight where there's a bad decision or a close decision. This is, you know, this is what happens when we're watching wrestlers or wrestling heavy fighters, and people are like, come on, this is boring. And people say, this is mixed martial arts, you casual. It's like, first of all, don't just start saying casual because people don't want to see this dude lay on this dude for 25 minutes. No, I'm just fucking boy. It's not an entertaining fight. Just like the Super Bowl. I know what's going on in the Super Bowl. I'm not a casual because I know the routes. I know what they're fucking doing. To me, it's just boring that it ended on a field goal. It was a good game, I guess. I just also don't care about any of the teams, but you know, it just really grinds my gears when people immediately throw that out there. But they say, my point being, they say, this is mixed martial arts. You know, don't get mad when people are using wrestling. No, exactly. Listen to your fucking self. This is mixed martial arts. You shouldn't just use wrestling and win. You shouldn't expect to win because you're wrestling and grappling heavy. How is that mixing the martial arts? Makes no fucking sense. This is going back to my my disdain for Aljamain Sterling. But basically, the point I'm trying to make is it was very clear that Islam was holding on just to survive in the hopes of banking around. In MMA, that should not be rewarded. And then it's like, you get away with it by, so that the ref doesn't step in and say, get up. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's fucking, not only is it boring to watch, yes, I'm saying it, it's fucking retarded because we know the plan. It's like, look at him. He couldn't submit him. Volk's fucking smiling, cowabunga, thumbs up, pod shots, everything. But he's literally just hanging on, going, oh, I'm going to win this round because I'm on his back. Okay, you're on my back, and I'm on your front. What's the difference? There's nothing to that. It shouldn't be rewarded. You gotta mix it up. Now if you're striking him and then you take him down and you're winning on the feet and then you're controlling him and you're maybe getting some strikes in, then okay, you've clearly won the round. But this wasn't that at all. So I just don't understand how people are, going, oh, you're getting mad because he was wrestling. No, I'm getting mad because because some fights it counts and some fights it doesn't. So I'm mad as a fan because why does this fighter win because he outstruck the wrestler and damage over control time, but this fighter wins because control time. It's fucking stupid, doesn't make any sense. I'm always in favor of you should not reward that. Just because you're holding on, that doesn't mean anything. Look at Aljo and Yan, 2 for 22, didn't threaten a sub, but he won. He lost the championship rounds. We saw with John Jones, he won the championship rounds against Reyes, won the fight. One of them even said, well, he won the championship round, so even though he only won 2 rounds, he wins. They're all over the place. They need to come out and make very clear set of criteria and rules. Then I wouldn't be mad. Then I'd go, he won because he laid on him and wet blanketed him for a very boring 15 minutes. All right. Yeah, it's not fun to watch, but he won. Like Bilal Muhammad. Bilal, his last fight, we can't include in here because fucking got a TKO, which I wasn't mad about. Sean Brady was out on his feet clearly. I'm glad the ref stepped in, right thing to do. He wasn't there, didn't know what was happening, so good call. So I can't say anything about that one. But the point being, Bilal will just try to lay on you without getting a sub, without getting strikes, no ground and pound. It's just up, I'm going to lay on you. We shouldn't be rewarding that. I referenced so many different fights. I got so off track just because I'm trying to prove a point here. I'm trying to make sense and sound like I know what I'm talking about a little bit here. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, again, this is mixed martial arts. I can't think of the right word here. I'm too fucking dumb. But what I'm trying to say is wrestling should not be scored higher than striking. I know like takedowns, you're looking at points, but I'm trying to say this without sounding dumb and making sure I get the meaning behind it into words. But wrestling shouldn't weigh more than striking. Striking shouldn't count more than wrestling. Kicks shouldn't, if you're going to engage in a point fight with Wonder Boy, then he's probably going to win. If he's in his karate stance and he's throwing his kicks and he's not really damaging you, whatever, but he's outpointing you, then he's going to win if you're not giving the judges anything else to look at. Simple as that. Now, if you can mix it up and get a takedown and blah, 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 then it should be fairly scored as, okay, Wonder Boy may have landed a kick here and a punch here, but how much was that damage compared to this takedown and the elbow he landed? It should be looked at that way, not, he was getting outstruck, but he landed that takedown and held him for a minute. It's like, it doesn't mean anything to me, and I hate that shit. Unless they come out and say, hey, for every single fight, this is how we're judging it. Then I have nothing to be mad about because we'll know what we're looking for. All right, fuck it. Finally, let's move on to something else because I can go on about that forever and about Aljo Lame and Bilal. I did have it, I did have round 2, 3, and 5 for Volk. Again, they're close. I wasn't mad or anything, but after rewatching it, I do think Volk won. The verdict came out, and that's how they had it scored, so I did agree with them. Again, close, but that's how it goes. Joe Rogan even said he had it for Volk. I don't really take in Joe Rogan's opinion. I don't take it into account too much. He's watching the fights, and he's pretty sure he's smoking weed and probably having a drink or two. I don't know if he is high, but I'm pretty sure they are. I mean, look at what he said about Sean O'Malley and them, so... figured I'd point it out, though. Now, obviously, the main thing about this was lightweight on the line, pound for pound, number one on the line. And for a while today, and I'm refreshing, and I don't see any updates. And Volk is still number one, Islam's still number two. I think that's the correct thing to do because this isn't rankings in a division. This is pound for pound. To me, that makes sense. That's exactly how it should work. You didn't get a finish. You didn't dominate this guy. To a lot of people, you lost. To the people who it mattered to, you won. But now it's because, now obviously Islam fans are going to say he won because the judges gave it to him. And Volk fans are going to say Volk won. That's how it works. If it wasn't your favorite fighter, then anybody else can have any other opinion they want. That's literally what judging is. Who's to say that the judges are just always right? We've seen them be wrong so many times before. They had a fight on the same card earlier on. Forgive me, I can't remember the fighters, but oh my God, they got that one so wrong. Even the commentary booth, they're going, what the hell? Bisping's calling him out. Anik was like, whoa. Can't remember the gentlemen's names, but it was bad. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I agree with the pound for pound. They tie now. They're both number one, or at least the latest from what I've seen. Both number one pound for pound, which, hey, make both guys happy, right? And I would have been fine if Volk stayed number one and Islam stayed two because, again, we don't see guys like Islam go up and challenge themselves. And I saw, I think it was Javier Mendez said, from what I've seen with Khabib, he could have went to welterweight and middleweight and been champ dominantly and never lost. It's like, come on, you're just talking out of your ass. If he felt so confident and comfortable moving up and winning, then he would have done it because nobody would want to kill himself in the weight cut. And especially these guys, man. Islam is killing himself to make weight. Khabib, back-to-back, they've told the commentary booth, hey, Islam might miss against Oliveira, against Volk. We heard Bisping, you know, they're doing the weigh-in show. They're going, oh, we just got word. Look out, Islam might miss weight. So we've heard it with them. Khabib, we know how many times he, you know, had to back out of a fight because he couldn't make weight. It was literally killing himself. How terrible he always looked. So, I mean, it's all fine and dandy to say they're the greatest, but where's the challenge? I mean, how can you talk bad about a guy like Volk who does challenge himself, like Izzy who does challenge himself, these people who do move up, and the ones who win? If you're so good and, you know, all this and, oh, he would have easily beat him, then why didn't he move up? It makes no sense. Then don't say it because he would have done it if he could have. And you can't prove us wrong because we don't have evidence because he didn't move up. As easy as that. And especially, that's where we lead into the biggest bit of news. Islam using an IV to rehydrate. That's how bad the weight cuts are getting. Man, Dan Hooker came out on Twitter. Well, Volk had the interview with Ariel first, and, you know, they said it, but they're like jokingly hinting at it. Vulcan, I think his manager or whatever. Dan Hooker comes out on Twitter and says, the dumb cunt only wins if he cheats. Fucking, he's going off. And people are saying, like, oh, he's going to get sued by Ali, which makes sense. So I think that's why they say take it with a grain of salt, but I'm kind of putting a little bit of stock in it because these guys would have to be smart enough to know. And if they're not because of all the CTE and brain damage, their managers have to be telling them, yo, don't say that. We're going to get sued. So I feel like they might know something. And especially being in Australia with, you know, with their hospitals, their nurses, whatever, if they know, they know. Now from, who is it here? From Real Jesse on Fire on Instagram, he's saying Volkanovski's team has, quotes, in quotes, stone cold proof that they're going to come out and present. I haven't heard anything yet. Fuck, and obviously I'll make a video as soon as I do hear something. And they say, oh, Islam banned for a year. I don't think it'll be a year. Costa only got a couple months, whatever. I don't know. The weight of it is kind of crazy. He was able to win pound for pound number one and defend his belt like that. So maybe they will have more serious punishment and to send a message. Hey, don't ever fucking do this for a title shot. You know, who knows what Dana does. I'd say give Benny, winner of Beneil and Charles, bam, fight Volk. Kind of the only one that makes sense. To me, that's what I see happening. Now, what was kind of funny to me is the quote from Islam's team was, even if Islam did, it is legal under USADA rules. That's what Islam's team came out and said to the accusations. They denied it, but then they added that in. They said, hey, even if we did do it, it's legal, which it's not. It's not at all allowed. You're not allowed to rehydrate with an IV because they're trying to keep it safe from extreme weight cuts like that, from weight bullies, which isn't a real thing. But yeah, it's funny, man. So I'm waiting for all this to play out. God, if he did, man, it'd be so fucking funny. I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see DC talk about it and, you know, hear him cry over his boys. You know, should have had him do the towel trick, right? Well, they don't allow that anymore. You know, you saw him get naked putting his arms up because he's fucking dying to make weight. And people are trying to use like a vein on his arm as proof. To me, it looks like a vein and a shadow. But the one I saw was a picture of them at the weigh-ins, and Volk is standing beside him. So Volk's like here and Islam's here. The light's coming from here, and Volk's flexing. So it's coming in. The light's hitting Volk's arm, and you can see the shadow of his arm on Islam. That one is kind of weird because his arm's in a shadow, so it can't have another shadow, and it's still a dark spot. So who knows? Again, though, I do think it's illegal to rehydrate with a certain amount, and I think you can get by it if a doctor comes in and says they need it for health reasons. Now, what are those health reasons? You know, I think you can't really get around it without saying you used it to rehydrate because you're fucking having a rough time making weight, but you can't fight at 170 for some reason. I don't know why. They're big dudes. You're so good at wrestling. You're so good at everything you do. You're the pound for pound number one. The pound for pound number one Volkanovski moved up to face a tough challenge. If Islam is the pound for pound number one, and if Khabib was, why wouldn't they move up? That's just, it doesn't make sense to me. If Islam's so great, blah, 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 all this, why not go fight Usman, Leon Edwards, winner of that? You know, if Islam doesn't get stripped if he didn't use an IV, blah, 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 prove to us you're the best, you're pound for pound. Move up, challenge yourself, prove I can beat the bigger man, and go out wrestle Usman. That's what we all want to see. I don't care who wins. I just want to see that fight. I want Islam to prove us wrong, or I guess everybody thinks he's the best, prove us right, or I want to see Usman beat him and say, look, these guys aren't as good as you think. They have to kill little dudes at 155. That's the statement to make. That's what I want to see. I've already wasted enough time. I've been talking for like 27 minutes. The saliva in my mouth is all gone. Fuck, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'll pray for y'all since I'm the minister. Fuck, I love y'all. Oof, boysees, that was a lot. Fuck, I'm gonna have to edit some of that out. I love y'all. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm out. Till next time. Fuck.